first. And we're back to National Festival action as we're ready to get underway here on Field 1 with our final game of the day. And this one features Saskatchewan and New Brunswick. And this is under 18 men's action. And this should be a fairly even contest and an interesting contest as sort of two Tier 2 provinces going head to head here. Looking at some of the New Brunswick players, and I remember them from last year, and they've gone up in age grade. Specifically, number 6 for New Brunswick, Nick Davidson. He's got the big Colin Charvis type of hair, and really big kid, and he has grown a lot in the last year. So we're watching Saskatchewan just warming up. Some fans queuing up in the grandstand. Doesn't look like a lot, but all across the grandstand, we've got people here. And taking a look at the lineups here in the front row for Saskatchewan, George Lygaridis, Christopher Dang, and Quentin Ryan. In the second row, Connor Smith and Carson O'Sullivan, Lyndon Luger and Paul Dietrich in the back row, and Liam Graham is the number 8. Christopher Drager is the scrum half, Billy Howden the fly half. Mostin Finley and Luke Weeb are in the centers, and one wing is June Takahashi, and Caton Pippus is the other wing. Ashton Milligan, the fullback. Cody Smith, Parker O'Sullivan, Braden Goldstein, Kyle Goldstein, Spencer Nankaron, Tristan Frank, Jaron Wazinski, and Ryan Hale, as well as Dean Mason on the bench for Saskatchewan. Connor Smith, Cole Keith, and Stephen Chang in the front row for New Brunswick. John Monahan and Cody Purcell in the second row. The aforementioned Nick Davidson and Ben LeBlanc are the flankers. Brandon Howe is the number 8. James Dugood is the scrum half, wearing number 11. The numbers are all over the place here. It's going to be a bit of a mess. Kerr Como is the fly half. Liam Chase will be the fly half, wearing number 20. Mackenzie Grant. Diababa Inca Janila is in the centers with Kyle Patterson. Eric Duplessis, Will Dara, and Ethan McDonald on the bench. Ethan Gentes, Jordan Higgins, Derek Bailey, Stephen McInnes, Will DuPont, Brett Cripps-Caines, and Patrick Haish, along with Michael Desmond on the replacements bench. So expect a physical encounter here between these two teams as they queue up. And Michael Jones is going to be one assistant referee. This is, I believe, going to be Chris Asmus doing this game. Michael Jones doing some pretty good charades there, asking for the ball. Nice shaping of the ball, I thought. Matt, did you get that one right away? Either that or he's looking for... Whoa, and the camera doing a dramatic move. You got to be careful on lowering. You're loosening that one way too much off, just a turn, and then it won't get away from you. Yeah. So it'll be Liam Chase. Oh, we've lost the picture on that one, buddy. Okay, there we go. Liam Chase getting this one underway for New Brunswick, playing right to left on your screen, and that is the flanker, Paul Dietrich, taking first contact for Saskatchewan. Immediately a penalty coming. First few seconds of this game. And already Saskatchewan not releasing the ball. Now, oh, that was an attempted kick to touch, went awry, and now touchdown by June Takahashi over there. So Saskatchewan will have the 22-meter dropout. Oh, and look at this bit of running. Some big stuff from number 12 for New Brunswick. Kerr Como doing a great job. Now that's number 26 for the New Brunswick team, Diabaha Ekangila. I'm sure I said that wrong. So the conversion is missed, but New Brunswick draw first blood at 5-0. The restart from Saskatchewan. Nick Davidson getting his hands on it. This is a guy I want to see him running with it because he's a terror with the ball in hand. Oh, and a nice cut back inside. New Brunswick now with an open lane looking for support. Cutting back inside. That's the flanker, Ben LeBlanc. Will he go coast to coast? He is just getting brought in at the 5-meter line. A heck of a run by the flanker from New Brunswick. Now just a meter short. Support in numbers, and that'll be a try for New Brunswick. So good end-to-end stuff here from New Brunswick as we try and pick up the number of that player over there. So just like that, we're up 10-0. New Brunswick over Saskatchewan. There's the conversion attempt. That's a good looking kick, but it's gone to the side. Now that's number 8, Brandon Howe, who scored that one for New Brunswick. So good, strong start by New Brunswick here in the opening 4 minutes. And I mean, big, long runs up the middle. And really that one set up the whole way by Ben LeBlanc. Got to give him credit on that one. Cleanly taken from the restart by Saskatchewan. Quick offload, crisp passing by this New Brunswick team. And then driving into the line, 21, Mackenzie Grant. Cole Keith. Clean ball back. Distribution by Kirk Homo. Kick over the top, challenging the Saskatchewan fullback. He has got some problems now. He's looking for help. Where are his green jerseys? And now Cole Keith with it. He's driven a good couple of meters. He's a big boy in the front row for New Brunswick. Flat pass offload to 30, John Monahan. Good service from James Duguid. Davidson, basketball pass back to his number 8, Brandon Howe. And it's just a question of patience with this New Brunswick team. They don't have the dropsies. They're very precise in their passing. And now that's the outside center. We're number 13, Kyle Patterson. And now a pass backwards, still fine, as Cody Purcell is bundled into touch. So good 7 to 10 phases there by New Brunswick. Saskatchewan will have the line out, but boy, that's a big line out package for New Brunswick as well. See if they can steal at the line. Cleanly taken by Saskatchewan. They'll look to get the clearance kick. Oh, now a stumble, and he's touched that ball down, I think. I want to say, oh, he wasn't in goal. He was 1 meter out when he slipped and that ball went to ground. And now that'll be a counterattack from Eric Duplessis. Look at the counter-rucking by Saskatchewan now. And the counter-rucking by New Brunswick. Finally, a penalty coming. Guys leaving their feet at the breakdown. Fair call against New Brunswick. Saskatchewan buying themselves some relief in the form of a clearance kick to just inside their own half. 7 minutes gone with a 10-0 lead for New Brunswick. So tomorrow's schedule we'll bring to you in a second, back to live action. Saskatchewan trying to get that past the gain line. Now they've spilled that ball. Neither team getting to it quickly. Now that's Ikangila getting to that one. We're in the number 26. Look at the big rollicking run from Keith. Cole Keith. And now a penalty, not releasing that ball once he's tackled. He's got a hummingbird's beat of a wing to get rid of that ball once he's on the ground, and that was too long. And right into our position in front of us. On tap tomorrow for the streaming schedule, Saskatchewan versus British Columbia under-18 women starting at 9, 10:30 a.m. Quebec versus Ontario in U18 men's action. British Columbia versus Newfoundland U18 men. Alberta versus Ontario 2 U18 men. And Alberta versus British Columbia 1 U16 men. And Ontario 1 versus British Columbia 2 U16 men. All on Field 1 tomorrow. Go to the National Festival Rugby.com website for a complete view of the week's streaming schedules and all the scores from the action today, as we have number 8, Brandon Howe, pounding across the gain line into the 22 of Saskatchewan. Oh, and agonizingly a drop ball, but a penalty against Saskatchewan. They were offside right at the 22, and immediately it's going to be New Brunswick offering up to take a kick at goal here. Kirk Como indicating, yes, sir, we would like to go for 3. Weather's been tremendous here in Calgary today. Up around 24 degrees now, about as hot as it's going to get today, I think. And the sky staying blue, some high fluffy clouds around as we see number 13 for New Brunswick add to the score, make it 13-0. And that kicker was Kyle Patterson for New Brunswick. So Saskatchewan has got to get down to New Brunswick end. That's job number 1. They haven't seen much down that end at all. There's a great restart. Saskatchewan players will get underneath that. Oh, and a Saskatchewan hand got to it. Advantage being played. That got to Brandon Howe. And now, no, that's Howe now. So Saskatchewan making good first up tackles to their credit. But New Brunswick just coming in waves. Davidson hooking up as a link, getting that ball down the line. Now finding some pace outside. Oh, that's some nice running as he's bundled into touch. Fullback Eric Duplessis showing some good rugby now, sir. He was trying to offload that before he stepped into touch, but he couldn't quite get the pass off. So Saskatchewan now trying to get in from behind their own 22. And New Brunswick just so tough at the breakdown. They're making all the tackles, doing all the right things, staying on their feet. That ball's coming out now. Bit of a mess for Saskatchewan to deal with. They've gone to ground. They've got to get that ball back quick, get reorganized. And now the one hopper and a quick kick from Saskatchewan. That's a beauty, but not before a penalty for coming in from the side comes from Dave Crisp, Alberta's new national panel referee running this game. So they'll bring it back. He was waiting to see if there's any advantage. That was a nice kick, but not the advantage that you'd be looking from a full penalty. You know, it was more fair for them to have a kick to touch and the line out as opposed to defending against New Brunswick from a loose kick up the field. So the flag goes up over on that side. Michael Jones, that's assistant referee on that side. Got to know Michael when he was refereeing at the NACRA Under-19 Championships down in Trinidad a couple of weeks ago. We were down working for NACRA at that tournament. And very switched on dude, one of the smartest referees you'll ever meet. Does Alzheimer's research as postgraduate work at UBC. Saskatchewan with the line out. Clean take by the second row, Paul Dietrich. He's done some good work for Saskatchewan this afternoon. Oh, and a double scissor snap tackle by New Brunswick. I just made that term up. And now that's a penalty against Saskatchewan, not releasing the ball. He held on to it after he was tackled. And will they just call up the services of Kyle Patterson again to give it a hoof? The T is coming out and Patterson is coming up. And this is going to be a bit of a longer effort, but I think he had a lot of leg left from that first kick. So this one will be from straight on. Oh, let's call it 35 meters straight on, 36 meters straight on. Now his New Brunswick mates have got to get ready to chase this up in case it goes off a post or anything. Looks like everyone's standing around like it's a union shop and they're waiting for orders. That one's going to go to the left and the flags will stay down, but he gave it a good hoof. 13 minutes gone in this game, and first order of business for Saskatchewan is they got to get some points, any points on the board in this first half if they want to claw back against this New Brunswick team. I think they're just a little physically overmatched. That is a big New Brunswick team as I'm looking man to man. There's some big lads on that team. Oh, good open field running now. Flat pass to the number 8, Brandon Howe. Good distribution down the line to Duplessis. Sounds like a South African name that may have landed in New Brunswick. A lot of doctors coming from South Africa in the last 15 years and finding spots all across Canada. Saskatchewan, another landing zone for South African medical personnel and their offspring coming and playing some pretty inventive rugby. We can think of one DTH Vandermerwe who pulled that trick, and also Nanyak Dalla coming via Nigeria to Canada, and his dad was a doctor, I believe. So New Brunswick getting ready to pack down against this prairie-fed Saskatchewan team, grain-fed prairie team. There's some big boys in that front row, Legaritis, Dang, and Ryan. Pressure time. Oh, nice job by number 8, Liam Graham. He's gone a full 10-15 meters from that break at the back of the scrum. That's a bit more like it for Saskatchewan. And now the scrum half, Christopher Drager. And they're finding some space out wide now. Oh, that ball's gone loose. New Brunswick's come up with it. And into touch. That far sideline. So it'll be Saskatchewan with the throw-in. See what this Saskatchewan lineout can offer. Oh, little gadget play to the front of the line, but probably inside that 5-meter zone. That's a full-on not straight, so they'll bring it in 15, scrum down to New Brunswick. So look for maybe a high ball here. Or are they just going to put the ball down the line and just see if they can score in the corner? But I kind of like the idea that maybe the fly half, Liam Chase, will maybe give that ball a high ride in behind the 22 and pressure the back 3 of Saskatchewan. Your scrum half is James Duguid wearing number 11. Now that's stolen by Saskatchewan. Another big run by Liam Graham. Oh, and look at him go. Look at him go. He's going to go. Oh, he should have just backed himself. I think he's across the line. No, he is just at the line. And I think that little hesitation, it was held up as he went across, but if he hadn't hesitated, I think he would have scored straight up. They didn't have an angle on him. So great bit of running from Liam Graham, the number 8 from Saskatchewan. You can see the frustration on his face. He had a great run, and I think he realized it might have been opportunity lost if he had just kind of nudged to the left a bit and continued on his course. It was just that one little look back over his shoulder that slowed him up that little bit, that took away the speed for the finishing try. Good news is it is scrum for Saskatchewan, deepest they've been in New Brunswick territory, so 5 meters out. And their scrum seems to have been improving in the last couple of minutes, and that's gone to back foot. And now it is Graham trying to make good for missing that first try run, but he stopped short. And now that could be a penalty coming against New Brunswick. It is, and they better be careful. They may give away a penalty try here in close, coming in from the side. And that was a good call by Crisp. So now they're setting up a bit of a running play here. Drager, the scrum half, tapping it and just pounding into the line. Nothing too inventive. Hammer and a nail time. And okay, that's a second penalty, and now there could be a yellow card. He's going to his pocket, and it is a yellow card against New Brunswick. Let's find out who that's against. So advantage Saskatchewan here at the goal line. I think the next one will automatically be a penalty try if there's any more shenanigans around the breakdown here. Oh, quick tap, and now that is Graham at the line, but he is held up. So New Brunswick sin bin doesn't start until this guy grabs his seat. And that's the second row, number 4, Connor Smith. A big, deep clearance kick from New Brunswick, and the counterattack now from Saskatchewan. Oh, and inadvertently he's offside. He's run into his own player, and now there's a penalty coming back, though. And Crisp is bringing it back a good long way, and I think that's on advice of his assistant referee, saying that all those players might have left early and were offside. So just putting up the yellow card there for New Brunswick. They'll have till the half-hour mark to deal with being shorthanded. And now that is the flanker, Paul Dietrich. He's gotten to the line. Saskatchewan needs to get points from this visit. Miss out pass. Another looping pass, and New Brunswick so good at tying that up. They're across the line, and they've just got to touch it down, but I got to feel it'll be held up. And it is held up again. So Crisp will bring it back. Be scrum 5 again for Saskatchewan. And I think what Saskatchewan's got to do is get their scrum call. Remember, they're missing a second row. That is, oh, the clock, that is halftime. The clock's showing 20 minutes here. Huh? Oh, these are 40-minute games. My apologies. Yeah, okay, so we were thinking there are 30-minute halves for this age grade. So that is halftime. We're going to take a quick break in the action, reset, and great job by Saskatchewan to turn this game into an interesting contest in the last couple of minutes. Let's see what they can do against New Brunswick. You're watching National Festival Rugby on the nationalfestivalrugby.com website and Rugby Canada. Doug Cross back with more in a moment. So second half about to get underway here. Field number 1 at Calgary Rugby Park. Apologies again where I thought we were on 30-minute halves for this group. Under 18 men on 20-minute halves because they're playing a couple games a day in this division. So that's sort of limiting the number of rugby games or minutes they can play. So it will be Saskatchewan kicking off in the second half. Check all the standings and what's going on in all the divisions at nationalfestivalrugby.com. That's about to fall out there. Okay. Oh, and the knock on. First up mistake by number 5 for New Brunswick, Cody Purcell. It's a long day of streaming here, showing all the fans all the rugby action here from Field 1 and a lot more to come. We're going to do 36 games total over 5 days. Plus we're doing Saturday night. It'll be the Wolfpack taking on British Columbia here, and expect a couple thousand people out to that game with all the tournament registrants and regular fan base and all that. It should be pretty resounding success. We did this at the festival championships last year at UBC when the Wolfpack were visiting. Strangely enough, BC that night we had about 1,500, maybe 1,800 people around the fringes for that game that night. Bit of a loopy pass. Billy Howden trying to make sense of it for Saskatchewan. Oh, look at the big cutting open field tackles being done by New Brunswick. And that ball coming back Saskatchewan side. They better do something with it quick. They have. Christopher Drager, the scrum half. Oh, and a little pod breaking away there. Good job by them. And a pick and drive again. So Saskatchewan a little more organized. Remember, New Brunswick has got a man in the bin, and he's a second row player. So big man off the field in the form of Connor. Sorry, number 4 is Connor Smith. Yeah. Of course, Saskatchewan has got a Connor Smith as well, wearing number 4. He spells his name with a Y, S-M-Y-T-H, as opposed to Connor Smith, who is taking an early break here on the sidelines. Spells his name S-M-I-T-H. Our thanks to the Kazakovs and the Calgary Rugby Park facility managers in general for all the work they've done to prepare this place for all this rugby action. Player dropping out to match up the numbers for the shortened New Brunswick team. Quick change there in the line. That's going to Davidson, the back row player. Big number 6. Can't mistake him with that big hair. And now New Brunswick starting to get cooking here. Even though they're players short, they're running around like they own the joint. 10-meter line of Saskatchewan now. And the feigned pass. That goes to Kirk Homo. And now bit of a quick kick over the top by 13 for New Brunswick. And that's Kyle Patterson. Saskatchewan on the counterattack now, the other side of the field. New Brunswick kicking that possession away. And maybe they're just doing that to survive this purple patch by Saskatchewan here in the opening minutes of the second half. Only a couple of minutes of the sin bin was served in the first half. Now not releasing the tackled player, the call against New Brunswick. And they get 1 or 2 more of those, and they could have a second guy in the bin. And that would really put them on the front foot. Clearance kick by 21 for Saskatchewan, Ashton Milligan. So it'll still be the line out for Saskatchewan, far sideline. There's Mike Chu of Rugby Canada in Alberta now after spending some time in Europe, I think. Were you in France too? Yeah? No? Oh. Don't start travel rumors. Yeah, everything's going fine there. And so now here's a counterattack from New Brunswick. Oh, this is good stuff down the tram line here. Chip and chase, and it's a shoulder-to-shoulder foot race, but it goes into touch. But some inventive stuff from New Brunswick gets them down into the Saskatchewan half. Yeah. So Canadian women having an exciting bonus point win at the World Cup today to go to 2-0. They're doing everything they can to help their cause as we have some changes coming on for New Brunswick. You're marking your sheets at home. Number 22, Patrick Haish coming on, and number 9, Stephen McInnes coming on. We'll tell you for who in a moment. Looks like Liam Chase has come off. Also, James Duguid has come off, and Kirk Homo, who's doing a lot. I'll tell you, you could never call him Kirk Home over. He's got a fantastic head of hair flowing there in the wind. Now, loose pass. Saskatchewan midfield. Will New Brunswick punish that mistake? That ball just laying there. Saskatchewan's got to use it. Christoph Drager now getting that ball inside. And now New Brunswick's pinched that. They are good at stealing ball at the breakdown now. Mackenzie Grant, 21, going into the line. But look at Saskatchewan being just as larcenous, getting that ball back. A robber robbing a thief. Knock on scrum to Saskatchewan. They've got a pretty brisk wind as we see number 4, Connor Smith, coming back on for New Brunswick. He's served his sentence, doesn't need a probation officer, being released to the public, and that's just fine by everyone. And so New Brunswick at even Steven at a crucial moment when they're parked in Saskatchewan's end. So Saskatchewan's going to put this ball in as soon as Crisp gets out of the way. Drager, he's at the back foot. He's acting like a bit of a blocker there, and he could have been called for that. He stood there and crossed his elbows, essentially. And now that's a penalty against Saskatchewan. And not sure what that indication is. Oh, it's offside. Okay. So does New Brunswick take the sitter, take the 3 points? Why not? That puts you to a 3-score lead. Should Saskatchewan have any more thoughts about the comeback, they need to score at least 3 tries to get back into this game. If they score this penalty here, indication now coming from the kicker for New Brunswick, Kyle Patterson, that he would like to take this 11-meter shot from goal and give it a whirl. Oh, and he's scuffed it to the right, and he's got to feel a little silly about that. That was an absolute sitter, guaranteed 3-point night all night long, and he's hit that one to the right to keep the score at 13-0 here in this second half. Remember, 2 20-minute halves, so 8 minutes gone in this second frame. 12-9 for Saskatchewan coming on. Tell you who that is in a minute. That's Spencer Nankaro and Braden Goldstein getting on there as well in relief of number 20, Christoph Drager, the scrum half. And, oh, look at New Brunswick getting that ball. And 22 for Saskatchewan. Hard afternoon put in by Luke Wiebe. I think it's just Wiebe. New guy named Wiebe, but not everyone pronounces it that way. New Brunswick. Some pretty crisp passing around the edges here. Ball's gone to ground as I say that. Cleaned up by New Brunswick, but not before the knock-on call from Crisp. So Saskatchewan, with its new scrum half, will get this ball underway. So Bragdon Goldstein getting us started for Saskatchewan. Can he, and it's New Brunswick stolen that. Tackled hard just as he came around the corner. And now another penalty against Saskatchewan, not releasing the tackled player. And maybe it's Saskatchewan that's going to be in some card trouble soon. Ben LeBlanc, who had that superb run to set up a long try in the first half. New Brunswick busting through. That's Will DuPont. Oh, look at the fend off by number 8, Brandon Howe. We've called his name all afternoon long. He is a busy back row player for New Brunswick. This big, physical, imposing New Brunswick team punishing Saskatchewan in close to the line. Now a rolling maul is organized. Stolen ball. Now he won't have the gas to go all the way, and he's going to need some help. Nice open field tackle on the center for Saskatchewan, Moston Finley. And, he turned the corner. He had eyes as big as dinner plates. Did he think he could score? Probably not. And he's bundled into touch. And a good job by New Brunswick to come across with the cover tackle. Stephen Chang will do the throwing here for New Brunswick. They've dropped, I think, one player out of that line out. And Davidson will be the target in the back row. Can't mistake him for that big mop of hair. Oh, and drop ball, and that's gone straight back off the heel of Dibaba Ikaginyi. And it was the try score in the first half, but he could not find the handle there. And now challenging kick up and under by DuPont. Fielded cleanly in front of the 22. And it looks like footing's just a little slippery out there. No moisture or anything, but maybe the sprigs aren't long enough. Oh, now this is the hooker doing a good job. And this is going to be a try. If he can get there in time, yes, he can. Ben LeBlanc does a great try from the flank position right down that right wing to add to the score. Now that is changing the complexion of this game for New Brunswick. It is a 3-score game, up to 18-0 now with the conversion to come. So tall comeback order here inside of 8 minutes left in this second half. 20 minutes goes by in a hurry. Ask a sevens player how quick 7 minutes goes by. Feels like an eternity, but for these guys who are playing 15s, 20 minutes is pretty quick time when you're used to having twice that to organize your drives and get your scoring opportunities in order. Kyle Patterson is the kicker over here, wearing the number 13. He'll have a pretty challenging kick into a decent breeze in his face. So he's going to have to play this like a Tiger Woods layup shot here and let the wind carry it around. Oh, and he's done just that. That's a good-looking kick, but it's going to be short. It looked good until you noticed it was about 10 meters short. So 18-0 to New Brunswick. This will help their 2014 festival campaign out immensely. So we have a replacement front row player coming on now for New Brunswick, wearing number 1, Ethan McDonald. Davidson, he's got that ball. Oh, just savage running by number 3, Cole Keith. His fend-offs are just terrifying, and I'm sure Saskatchewan tacklers are not looking forward to it every time he touches the ball. Penalty against Saskatchewan. Got a not rolling away in the scrum. No, it's a hands in the scrum. Sorry about that. The ruck. So Kyle Patterson's going to give this a nudge into touch, and it'll be a line out for New Brunswick, and that's a decent touch finder. Michael Jones, the assistant referee, marking that on this side. I'm not sure. It may have given Michael Jones some good research, intuition, and some stuff about Alzheimer's. I think I came up with some stuff for him in the lab to work on. Gotten some pretty deep conversations over coffee one morning, and I think figured out a few things. So if he gets really famous, it's because of me. Davidson linking up nicely in the line out now. That's your try scorer from the first half. Dibaha Ikengila. Ethan McDonald, his first touch of the ball for New Brunswick. Now just sitting back in the pocket and waiting is the fly half to Pont. He tries to challenge a back three, but he needed a higher, deeper kick than that. Saskatchewan able to take that and run outside their 22 with it. That's a New Brunswick foot that's knocked that loose off New Brunswick player, and that's all getting a little 6s and 7s over there. Into touch, but I don't know if we'll take a knock on first. Now we're going to take the line out. So inside the last 5 minutes of this game, oh, that's a nice take in the line out by Liam Graham. Guy who nearly scored end-to-end try there earlier in the first half. No look pass, goes down, 2 sets of hands. Saskatchewan still alive, but the fullback for Saskatchewan, Ashton Milligan, didn't sort of back himself on the outside lane there pace-wise, and he was dealt with quickly. The touchline being used as the extra defender for New Brunswick. So throwing in now, wearing number 16 for New Brunswick, Derek Bailey. Crisp asking him to hold the ball for a moment just to check that gap. Everything passes muster. A lot of movement. It's like a Britney Spears dance routine in there. Not straight. And we're going to take it in 15. It'll be Saskatchewan with the put in. All kinds of rugby news going on today, so check out how our Canadian women did in France against Samoa. I believe it was a 42-7 win after beating Spain 31-5, so they're doing just fine over there. And Mike Chu doesn't probably want to hear this as a New Zealander, but New Zealand Black Ferns losing a game to Ireland today. That doesn't help Canada's cause, as he points out. Never mind what the Black Ferns are doing. It makes a job much harder for Canada in terms of their World Cup quarterfinal aspirations. Tap ball now by Brandon Howe. I think he's been one of the most effective players on the field for New Brunswick. Oh, it's getting grimy in there. Some hard work being done as 22 for New Brunswick. Patrick Haish goes in the line. So Saskatchewan still making their tackles. And now another challenge kick in behind the 22, and that's a wicked bounce for Saskatchewan right into New Brunswick hands possibly over there. And it does. Look at that. And tackled into touch. And there is Dibaha Ikengila down over on that far touch line. I think there's a natural order of things for rugby announcers that the tougher a guy's name is, the more he will touch the ball in a game. Guys like Smith hardly ever touch it, and we've had Dibaha Ikengila taking that ball all afternoon long. As a matter of fact, we got a little stoppage in the action. Maybe we'll have a quick conversation with our man Mike Chu, who oversees all things rugby here in Canada. Mike, how are you liking what you're seeing in Calgary so far?
Oh, it's fantastic, beautiful day, outstanding grounds, great atmosphere, volunteers and staff doing a fantastic job, and some very good rugby.
And, you know, things looking good, too, on the international front with our Canadian women. But explain what's going on with the Black Ferns winning today. What does that do to us in terms of second round stuff?
Well, the Black Ferns losing to Ireland means that our game against England takes on even more importance. Basically, it's a quarter-final. The winner gets through, and the the loser's got to hope for other results to go their way. So we don't want to rely on other results. So I think it's just we have to beat England on Saturday.
And everyone goes, "Ooh, that's pretty tough." But we did it last year at the Nations Cup, and everyone playing mind games of what team was playing there. But we didn't play with our best team, and we beat their team, whoever they brought.
Yeah, so you can only play against who you're fronting against. So yes, we beat England for the first time last year, and then we beat them twice. So I think our girls are going to go in with a lot of confidence against England this weekend. I think our girls are playing very well. They've played against Australia, England, and the Black Ferns this year, and performed very well against all those teams. So I think it's blown the whole competition wide open with Ireland knocking over the Black Ferns.
And that's a beautiful thing about rugby. Every once in a while, the form sheet gets turned on its head, and it'll make for exciting times this weekend.
I think so. I think France are looking good in this competition, and at home they'll be tough to beat. It'll be interesting to see how the Black Ferns pick themselves up, and whether they sneak into the semi-finals, and how they go if they do.
All right, well, great to catch up with Mike Chu here up in the booth, and we'll probably see him around all week long. Thanks for that. So we're over 40 minutes at this point, so I think the next time the ball goes in touch is Nick Davidson is getting some servicing over there and staying in the game, but noticeable limp. He's probably working out a Charlie horse or something. He'll pack down for the last time, and Saskatchewan, if they can retain possession, will be happy to just punch this into touch and regroup for another day here as they're down 18-0 in this one with no time left. And now dropped past. Is it gone over the dead ball line? I think it has. And that is going to be full time. So same end result. Saskatchewan getting it away from New Brunswick. Didn't allow another try. And so that brings to close a great day one here at the National Festival of Rugby here in Calgary. Check the nationalfestivalrugby.com website. We'll be back on the air starting at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. That's 11 Eastern. 8 a.m. Pacific, and in Newfoundland you're going to have to do your math yourself. I apologize, but I always get messed up on that one, especially from the western time zones. I believe it'll be 12:30 we're starting in Newfoundland. So for Matt Cross doing all the great shooting today, and Mike Chu is our guest, and Gareth Reese and Florent Rosagnew, we'll say thanks and goodbye from Calgary Rugby Park. Talk to you again tomorrow.